Hey guys, Sung back with part 2 of how to create a YouTube video in Sony Vegas. Today we're going to be taking what we learned in part 1 and implementing it into part 2 and bringing these PNGs into Sony Vegas and getting our introduction started. So here we go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and import our project media. Went ahead and put these into a folder that could be easily found. And then a nice little thing I learned here recently was Control-Shift-Q will add new video tracks quickly. Control-Q will add audio tracks. So now we're going to go ahead and pull down our motion loop. And we're going to go ahead and resize it to about 8 seconds. Somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds is going to be your ideal introduction length. And just for note, the layers that appear lower in the timeline are going to be below layers that appear on top, so that our PNGs will then appear above the motion layer. So what I'm doing now is putting in my my logo, and I'm putting in the presents that we put in previously in part 1. And because we formatted them 1920 by 1080, they just fit perfectly on top of the aspect ratioed video. So now I'm taking the second half, and what I'm targeting here is about the first half to be approximately 4 seconds, the second half to be approximately 4 seconds, so that we get to our 8-second mark. Went ahead and added some fade intros into the beginning of the project, and then you can see on the one track with the logo, and then the second layer, there's a crossfade that's occurring, and right now what I'm doing is just trying to find that perfect balance. At this point when I was recording, I was trying something a little bit less than a 1 second fade. You can see it occurs very quickly. That wasn't my ideal, so you'll see here in a second that I go ahead and increase the crossfade to where it fits into that 1 second transition. That seems to work quite nicely. Just making some subtle adjustments. And then we use the track motion. You can see it pop that up there. And then what I'm going to do with the track motion here is use the arrow keys to move it down just so it stays perfectly aligned. And then I'm clicking ahead to where the track just above it is, and then adding in a default track motion. So what it's doing is it's doing a little keyframe right there so that it'll perfectly move itself back up after that period of 1 second. So it'll start low, fade in, and then be right in its perfect position. So now that I've finished that, I'm going to go ahead and render this out. It's exactly the way I want it to be. And it's going to be time-lapsed here, so it's going to go by pretty quickly. My computer's fast, but it's not quite that fast. And then what I'm going to do to finish up the tutorial is actually show you how easy it is to make an adjustment to the title. So I'm popping back over to Photoshop, and you can see this was the template, the title template. And I'm just typing in some random text here to say, okay, it's the next sermon in the series in this case, or maybe you've got a video in the next in the series, and you just name it something different. And then you go ahead and go back up and save it. Name it as the same thing as the previous. And then when we come back over into Vegas, you'll see it just updates automatically and is ready to be rendered and added to your new video. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully it's been helpful, and we'll catch you next time.